Remember the 823 heavy rainstorm in 2018? This is Taiwan, soaked in the flooded waters. One can see the bottom of the reservoir. The once abundant collector is now the shallow container. This is also the same year in Taiwan. Taiwan has an average annual rainfall of 2,500 millimeters, which is 2.6 times the world average. However, where did all these precious water resources go?
Due to climate change, the Taiwan that we are seeing right now is quite different. The number of days for rainfall has decreased, but the total rainfall quantity hasn't changed that much.
The extreme weather patterns have directly made a huge impact when it comes to water storage issues in Taiwan. Due to the geographic location of Taiwan, sitting between the Eurasian plate and the Philippine Sea plate, it has long been caught in the poling motions. However, this has also created the beautiful landscape of high mountains and deep waters, although this is also what creates the issue of not being able to retain its precious water resources.
We have very steep slopes here, so if one drop of rainwater was to fall into Jade Mountain, it would only take within 3 hours before it reaches the ocean. Now, if we compare that with the Yangtze River, even with flooding, it would take around a week's time. We're talking about from the very start all the way to the very end. It would take around 1 week's time, maybe even 2 weeks' time.
Water resources come from the skies, but where does it go? A drop of rain falls into the Jade Mountain, travels through the valleys, and then makes its way to the ocean in just 3 hours' time. Compared to the Yangtze River, which spends around 2 weeks to drain out the rainwater, it's not even a close comparison. Since the terrain is formed at a disadvantaged point, it all depends on the weather. It's like gambling with the higher powers. Usually the house wins in the end.
Is our ability to predict the weather accurate? Basically, we don't know much.
A perfect example of just how hard it is to predict the weather occurred on August 23, 2018. It was as if there was a big hole that appeared in the sky. The Nanhua Dam was completely overflowed with rainwater. The sight of that made the people in Tainan feel overjoyed because just 3 months earlier, the dam looked completely different.
On June 2nd, our water levels dropped to about 20 million tons. That's only about 20% of the entire water storage rate. In addition, for the Zhengwen Reservoir, it had already fallen to almost 0%. So for us at the Nanhua Dam, we predicted that we could hold out for only another month's time.
The Nanhua Dam mainly provides water for Tainan, and there were 200 days that it has supported Kaohsiung City as well. Fortunately, starting from June of last year all the way to October, there were continuous heavy rainfalls. This had put the reservoir unit at ease. However, at the same time, it was such strange weather that they had never seen before.
It was really strange because it wasn't normal for us to see such heavy continuous rainfall from June all the way till October. There were almost daily thunderstorms in the afternoons.
For those of us that do not need to worry about water shortage issues, very few know about how in the south they're often on the edge of danger when it comes to their water supply. Kaohsiung does not have a large reservoir for the people to use. The drinking water mainly comes from the Galping River. However, because they rely solely on the river water, a weird phenomenon often occurs.
When it comes to river water, the unfavorable factor is that every time there is a downpour, the water will immediately become muddy and undrinkable.
Therefore, from June to October, the Nanhua Dam will provide water for Kaohsiung. Then, in the winter months, Tainan will run into a shortage of water, so the Galping River will be providing water for Tainan. One reservoir is in charge of providing water for a total of 4.65 million people in 2 cities. This is a huge responsibility. Is it wise to put all of our eggs in one basket?
Under extreme weather conditions, if it doesn't rain for 2 whole months, where is our water source going to come from?
The Nanhua Dam has sustained damages when Typhoon Morakot hit. It had reduced the storage capacity by 40%. If we do not hurry to build more water storage facilities, the future of both Tainan and Kaohsiung is hanging in the balance.
After Typhoon Morakot, Typhoon Maggie, and Typhoon Morakot, the dam's storage capacity has decreased from its original 1.5 million cubic meters to the present 93.8 million cubic meters.
Looking at the example of the Nanhua Dam, many of the same situations are happening all over the island. When the heavy rain is hitting the ground, it's composing a warning melody. We have long been passively allowing the water resources to slip out of our hands so easily, without even a second thought toward the future. With the average annual rainfall at only 2,500 millimeters, we should be actively doing more to safeguard our water resources.